IPOB official met US lawmaker Ted Cruz to discuss Biafra independence. Ted Cruz, a United States senator, was among officials the indigenous people of Biafra IPOB once met to advance the separatist agenda. IPOB is seeking the accession of a Biafra nation from southeast Nigeria. In 2027, the Nigerian government prescribed IPOB and labeled the group a militant terrorist organization after the Eastern Security Network, ESN, its armed wing, was accused of killings and violence. In 2024, Simon Ekman, the self-acclaimed Biafran leader. So in 2024, Simon Ekpa, a self-acclaimed, just hold on a minute, I'm just having a bit of network issue here, okay? A self-acclaimed disciple of Nnamd.i Kanu, IPOB leader, said, Biafra finance minister, met with Cruz. Ekpa is currently serving a 6-year prison term in Finland for inciting. I don't know what's wrong with the thing, it's just jumping as I'm reading it. Ekpa is currently serving a 6-year prison term in Finland for inciting terrorism and participating in the activities of a terrorist group. Minister Nkere briefed Senator on Biafra's progress towards independence, including activities such as self-referendum, as well as the Nigerian government's persecution of Biafrans and ties to Islamic terrorist groups, Ekpa said in an expose, alongside a photo of Nkere and Cruz. At the end of the meeting, Biafra Nkere handed the senator the Biafra Charter and Biafra pin. Cruz has been lobbying for sanctions and military action in Nigeria over claims of an ongoing persecution of Christians in the country. So, like Kebu is saying, this happened last year, but I think they're bringing it up now. You know, there's been a lot of conversation around the fact that, oh, it's IPOB that is making this whole this designation that Nigeria got from the US as a country of particular concern, that it's IPOB that is leading it. Some have said it's Southeast and all of it. Probably that's the reason why they are bringing this, up again. They're bringing this particular, because this meeting happened last year. I didn't know about it. I'm sure there's some other people also who also didn't know about it. Last month, he proposed a bill that seeks to protect, prosecuted Christians in Nigeria and hold Nigerian government officials accountable for facilitating the mass murder. In a separate investigation, the Cable found the hashtag Biafra Exit Now featuring prominently in the online discourse around the Christian genocide claims. Analysis of data sets also showed that keywords supportive of Biafra and Kanu appeared frequently in auto bios. The Cable also found that much of the data cited by US lawmakers and other genocide claimants came from the International Society for Civil Liberties and Rule of Law Inter-Society, a pro-Christian civil rights group known for promoting sectional interest. Cable check. The Cable's fact-checking arm found the figures quoted in the report to be false, according to Cable. Emeka Umegbalasi, Inter-Society's founder, also repeatedly voiced support for Biafra and Kanu. US President Donald Trump has threatened to go into Nigeria guns ablazing, to completely wipe out the Islamic terrorist thugs attacking our cherished Christians. So what I read from this particular piece, I just say it's like a jumbling of so many things, and I think what they're trying to say is, it's like I said earlier, to still link this whole thing to IPOB Southeast, and all of that. But just to say, for us, even as Nigerians, these are some of the conversations that we are supposed to really sit down, and start having, to say, what, Nigeria has been, I think Nigeria is about 111 years now since the amalgamation of the Northern and the Southern Protectorate. And in terms of, I think it's about 65 years now of independence. We got our independence, and then it became a republic, I believe, in 1963. And so that would be, it's about 62 years now that it became, a republic. But at the end of the day, Nigeria is still so much divided, even divided that it used to be. Unfortunately for us, we find people who have been unscrupulous people who have been in politics and have used this divide to continue to divide the people because it helps them. I don't think Nigeria has been as much divided as it is now. There has been a lot of call for sectional leadership, for separation and all of that. But I think it's very important that the fact that the Northern and the Southern Protectorate were put together against the will of the people by the colonialists, after 100+ years, it's only fair that, citizens sit down and have a conversation. Do they really want to stay together, or do they want to separate? Do they want to continue this relationship? And whatever it is, let there be an amicable separation if there is, or amicable living together. Lives need to be protected in Nigeria. Good governance is sacrosanct. You understand? We need to have a place where we're able to live amicably. And if any of that is not forthcoming, then there should be a means of separating amicably. No one Nigerian life should be sacrificed in terms of keeping that union together. And sometimes when they talk about conversation, there are actually people who are afraid of the conversation that needs to be had. Having a conversation doesn't mean that, oh, you're going to separate. You're going to see that you're better off being together than you are, separated. Because in every different part of Nigeria, we bring it, every region of Nigeria brings in this amazing thing. And I always say there's no region, any region in Nigeria that cannot survive on its own. So coming together and having a discussion will let us understand that, look, indeed, we need each other in one way or the other. And then when you do that, it's your own doing, that you sat down, you had a conversation, and you decided to be together. Unlike the one that is like, over 111 years ago, some people decided that they were, instead of managing these two things together, since they are near, let's collapse them as one and make them one. And hey, they became one. And that's where we are with this very populous, nation of ours that we have. And Nigeria happens to be the most populous country in Africa, and it is also the most populous black nation in the world. And so that's it. So people coming together to talk doesn't mean that, oh, it's a bad thing, never let it happen. It can actually be an opportunity for us to either renew our contract or say to each other, it's been good doing business with each other.
While Nasir El-Rufai was governor of Kaduna State, whatever intelligence came to his disposal that he was able to trace the killers of then southern Kaduna was the hotbed. However, he was able to trace them to Chad, Mali, or whatsoever, and whatever part of our resources he took and said he compensated them with, which he went around TV station gloating about it, only God knows. So when we talk about, because the belief, especially from southern Kaduna, is that the sophistication of those attacks came after somebody said he compensated them. Because we can't keep playing games with the truth. We are talking about people's lives, we are talking about women being violated and all of that. So yes, it is not sophisticated or complex to know who the sponsors and the supporters of Islamism in Nigeria are. Now, with regards to Miyetti Allah was a group, or is a group, that was bold enough under General Muhammadu Buhari's regime to claim responsibility for massacres on the plateau in Benue and all of that. Once that happens, Miyetti Allah has a demand for ranching, which Buhari kept attempting to do under different names, either water resource bills, either ranching, either Ruga settlements, and all of that. The tactics Miyetti Allah is employing is simple. It is a jihadist movement. But what they want to do is to appear as people who, by default of their nature and tradition, they don't have a home, and so they are the responsibility of the government. What they are trying to do is to be adopted by the Nigerian government as a pet project. And then they will now be carried as a liability on the Commonwealth of the Middle Belt and sustained and protected by the government with our own resources. So in other words, while the thief man in Benue uses his money to buy 1, 2, 3 plots of land to run his poultry or his fishery, another one will get his brothers from Niger, from Chad, from Mali, armed with AK-47, come and rape his wife, kill his children, destroy his crops, and then tell the government the only way to resolve this matter is to carve this, thousands of hectares. If you have had a look at the demands for setting up, the ranches, you would understand, quite frankly, it is an expansionist agenda that is meant to be championed by the use of